Hi, thanks for tuning in on the Big Heli Challenge. I've got a few videos for you as promised. I didn't get a chance to record some of my first flights. I just wanted to concentrate on the helicopter and not have to worry about setting up the camera and also, making sure that the heli was in frame or not. So um, you'll just have to take my word for it. It didn't end up in the ground and I did just fine. I did record subsequent videos, and the first two you'll see are with the training gears on, because I just wanted to make sure that I was able to hover the helicopter and when I was bringing it down I wasn't going to tip it over. The landing gears also helped a little bit with orientation, although I wasn't bringing the heli very far, so it didn't matter too much in that regard. Um, the downside of the training gears is that they vibrate the tail and send resonance through the entire fuselage. So the helicopter, at certain rotor speeds, it really vibrates the entire helicopter, where it unsettles it a little bit, and you really have to fight to keep it in control. So that's the downside, but the upside is that you get a chance to just get a feel for the helicopter for your first few flights, and really just not have to worry about doing everything to perfection, especially the landing part. So here we go, let's take a look at my first video. I went out to a park very early in the morning. There was absolutely no one around, and I just had a chance to focus on the helicopter and hover it around, and I think it went really well. Just taking off the ground, trying to keep it steady, and as you'll see throughout the video, it sort of vibrates to the point where I have to bring it back to the ground, or at least just touch the landing skids to the ground so that it stops to shake, and then take it back up. So as you can see, the entire helicopter is really shaking, and it's hard for me to even just keep it afloat because of the landing skids. So just I had to bring it down, touch it down a little bit, and then once everything stops shaking, you can pull it back up. So I just landed it, spooled it back down, and gave it a second. Just looked things over, making sure that the landing skid was attached properly. So that was my first flight. I think it went pretty well. I was on my own. Didn't run into any issues. Kept it under control. Kept it where I could, see where exactly it was pointing, and just fighting the helicopter because of the vibration from the landing skid. So let's take a look at my second video, where I'm again at the flying field, still have the landing gears on, and same issues where it vibrates a lot, but again just needed a bit more confidence on the helicopter and making sure I was able to hover properly. So again, got to a point where the helicopter and the entire fuselage was just vibrating violently, and so I settled it down, put it back on the ground, and then spooled it back up to go for another hover. So after hovering around for a bit, I was about halfway into my battery, and we had sort of pre-planned that either we would do one round of the flight with the landing of the training gears on, and then we would do another round with them off. So about halfway into the battery, I said, you know what, let's just do it now. So went ahead and took the training gears off. A little bit nerve-wracking to say the least, but everybody at the field was super supportive, and they trusted my abilities to be able to fly the helicopter just fine. So we're clipping the zip ties off and taking the tape off, and this will be my very first attempt at flying the helicopter without any sort of a crutch. So this is just me and the heli. So here we go. This is the helicopter, no training gear, and it already feels amazing. It feels super stable. It feels like what I practiced in the sim. There's no real shaking, and it responds extremely crisply. All the controls feel great, and over the course of the video you'll see that I go from hovering to a little bit of forward and backward flight, and then I also move it side to side, and it was a blast. Apologize for the helicopter looking like a mosquito in the sky. I'll frame it up better next time, but like I said, this is my first attempt at flying the helicopter and trying to record the experience, so it's always a learning experience. I found landing to actually be the trickiest part, where unlike the micro helis, you can't just sort of plop them on the ground you know, in almost any angle. There's a lot of rotating mass and a lot of speed out there, so you really have to make sure that the heli is stable, it's not drifting too much, and then gently set it down. You know, so far so good. I touched down and got a round of applause from all the folks at the flying field. It was a really fun evening. I threw the battery back on the charger in the car and took it up for a second flight. So that's it. Those are my first couple of flights. Getting more confident and really enjoying it so far. I'm looking forward to getting back out there and getting a little more advanced and, you know, sort of pushing the boundary a little bit more as I get comfortable with the helicopter. I'll do a little bit of side hovers soon, and some forward flight as well. It's just a matter of getting comfortable with the helicopter in reality. The sim is, you know, great for orientation practice, but when it's really in front of you and you can hear the blades really cutting through the air, and you can see every small movement of the wind pushing the heli around, it's an entirely different experience. Not one that I'm shying away from, but it's just something that you have to get used to. So far, it's a blast, and everybody at the field has been super supportive. And if you are trying to fly a big helicopter and are nervous about it, or don't know whether you should get into it, I would say, you know, find yourself a club first, or find yourself a group of people that have done it in the past. They will make your life a lot easier, and they will also give you the confidence that you need to fly something this size, because it is nerve-wracking when it's sitting in front of you. It's an entirely different experience flying micros versus these guys, and it's just as big of a reward when you do get it right. So don't shy away from it. If you're nervous, find a group of guys or girls that have done it in the past. Talk to them. They'll have tons of information